So I'm going to show you 3 features of Excel that are fairly new. They've been around for a bit and I can't live without these. The only thing I would say, you need to have the 365 version of Excel, and some of the features, I think virtually all of them have been rolled out now, but if you haven't got them on your ribbon, it might be they haven't rolled out or the update hasn't yet come to your computer yet. So hopefully you will have these, but if not, hopefully you'll have them soon. So let's have a look at the first one. And the first one's actually quite simple, and you should have. When you've got a sheet like this, where I have got a lot of sheets down the bottom here, and sometimes I find I'm scrolling backwards and forwards, and I find that quite annoying. So what I can do is I can use the 3 dots here, I'll just highlight them, to make the sheet area larger and the scroll bar smaller. So let me demonstrate. So you hover over those 3 dots and you just drag according to what size. So now I can see all my sheets. If I don't want to see all the sheets, I go the other way. So it's a really good way of maximising, especially if you're one of these people who go from a big screen to a laptop and you're just maximising the space. So those 3 dots, just click on the 3 dots and click and drag. I think that one should be available to most people. Now the next one I'm not so sure. The next one is the focus cell. Now I've only recently got this and it might still be coming out. So what this means is if you're in a meeting and you want to talk to somebody about a particular cell, you can focus on it. So I've clicked on C9 and everyone in the meeting might be sitting there going, well, where's C9? What one's she talking about? So all I need to do is go up to the view menu, and from the view menu, I'm just going to mark it on the screen so you can see it's there, focus cell. And what that will do, that will highlight the cell so everyone can see exactly what we're referring to. And then when I click away, it changes the focus cell. If I don't want it anymore, I can just click on it and it switches it off. If I want to change the colour, I can just go to the little arrow, choose focus cell colour, let's choose a blue, and there we go. So you can see the focus cell changing as I move around. So to say, this has only just come to me. I'm going to be using this a lot, especially for training, but I can see in a meeting when you're discussing cells, it will be so useful. So have a look for it, see if you've got it. I really hope you have. That's the second one. And then to switch it off, you just click on the same button and then that switches it off. The other one, I've mentioned this one before, but it's so useful I think it deserves a second mention. It's also on the View tab and it's on the Navigation pane. So if we click Navigation, it's called Navigation, and it will bring up the Navigation pane on the right hand side. Now this is just much more than when we scroll along the bottom and just looking at the sheet names, because what the Navigation pane is doing is it's showing us not only the sheet name, so I can see there's 2 things going on in this sheet. There's some cells, so it tells me the cells in the reference, and there's also a text box, but I can't see that text box. So if I click on the right where it says text box 1, it's going to take me straight to that text box. If I click on the cells, it's going to take me straight to those cells. If I want to investigate the other sheets, I could just expand them and have a look at those. So again, I can see the cells and the text box. If I knew, now one of the things I'm quite big on is naming my tables or naming areas. I'll just quickly show you that. So let's go, we're in this data here. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to make it a table. So I could either go through the Format as Table menu or Control T. And I have done a video on that. I'll reference that because I actually think the table features are so good. So I've made my table and I'm going to give it a name. So up here in the top left where it says Table 1. So let's give this a name. So I'm going to call this one TBL Sales. There we go. Okay, now what happens if I look on my box? I'm just going to update that. There it is. So if I look on the right hand side in my navigation pane, you can see that now it has picked up the name of that table in my navigation pane. So slowly this stuff is beginning to make sense. But what it also means I can do, let me just collapse that down, okay, is if I knew that my table was called sales and maybe I was somewhere else on my spreadsheet and I wanted to go to that sales table, I would click in the search and I would just type in the word sales. It has then brought up that sales table. On the right hand side, I can click on it. So this is where the navigation pane starts to come into its own when you start to use it with name tables, as well as picking up on other things that you might not be able to use. So there are the three things that I use regularly. The little three dots to make the area more convenient along the bottom of the screen, the focus cell that can be found in the view menu, and the navigation pane that also can be found in the view menu. If there's anything you'd like me to cover, there's a lot of new things coming into Excel all the time. They're updating it, and if you've got the 365, you'll find, you look there and there'll be a button there you hadn't discovered. So if there's anything you want me to cover, or a button that you think, oh, I'm really pleased they've added, pop it in the comments because I'd love to do a video on it. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.